the show. Welcome to the frozen tundra of New York City. My name is Jon Stewart. What a historic day in Washington, D.C. It is, as many of you know, January 6th. It is January 6th. And as you can see, once again, a blanket of angry white descending on the Capitol. And this white, oddly enough, not as disruptive. It did snarl traffic, but a lot less bear spray and Confederate flags. Of course, it is January 6th. It is the day that traditionally we now pretend that we knew was a big deal in terms of certifying the elections. Be honest. Before that insurrection, you had no idea that was there. You had no idea there was a January 6th ceremony or what it did or why it did. Now you just got to act like, oh, yes, the reading of the election. So important. But let's get to it. It always begins with the traditional children's procession, where they bring in boxes filled with the cremated remains of their dead pets. And then they dump them, all the ashes, on the speaker's desk. And then the speaker blows on the dust until the name of the president-elect is conjured in the mist. America is a wondrous land. But it's good to see them bringing in the boxes there. Nice to know that democracy now has pallbearers. So trenchant. Of course, the ultimate indignity of this January 6th is that Donald Trump's opponent, Kamala Harris, because she is the vice president, serves as the master of ceremonies to this. Really, you are a very reactive and sad group. The empathy is off the charts with this group. Kamala Harris has to be the master of ceremonies. But it does suck.
The votes for President of the United States are as follows. Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida has received 312 votes. Kamala D. Harris
That's gotta sting. She's like, I can hear you. God damn, it's like attending your own funeral. And even the mourners are like, woohoo! I can't imagine anything that would be more uncomfortable than standing there while the crowd applauds your opponent.
Kamala D. Harris of the state of California has received 226 votes.
Wait, that sounded louder. There's a lot of joy in that room. I think she can still win this thing. She just needs to find like 130,000 votes in Georgia. And then, some in Michigan and Pennsylvania, maybe Wisconsin, maybe that's the flip North Carolina. But ultimately, the certification ceremony that we all look forward to every 4 years, since I was little, went off without a hitch. Because it's amazing how smoothly our democracy can work when you don't act like a little bitch when you lose. Not naming names, just saying. But it was lovely to begin this new political year on a peaceful and calm note, because the actual new year was really quite rougher. The hopeful dreams of a peaceful new year filled with love and camaraderie of people in Times Square holding in their pee for 12 hours, shattered by a terrorist attack at 3:15 a.m. in New Orleans. The attack was sudden and horrific. It sent law enforcement scrambling to find the perpetrators and viewers scrambling to find out if the perpetrators, once found, would validate or invalidate their previously held political viewpoints.
And we are hearing local reports that the suspect has been named as Shamsud Din Jabbar, which would indicate Middle Eastern descent.
Oh, would it? You don't believe he's of the Mayflower Din Jabbars? The Connecticut Din Jabbars? I'm going over to the the country club today. We're going to play around with Ginger Bar. So, point one, MAGA.
The FBI confirming that an ISIS flag was located in that Ford F-150 pickup truck when the attack occurred.
ISIS flag, that's 2-0 MAGA. It's best of 5. Papa needs a brand new reason to deport everybody.
We do know that the vehicle crossed through Eagle Pass, Texas, crossed the border 2 days ago.
A radical Muslim named Din Jabbar illegally crossing the border to commit violence against Americans. Yahtzee! And while normally the right, in tragedy, would caution us to take a moment for thoughts and prayers for the victims and not politicize it, that's only when they think they're on the wrong side of this shit.
The Biden administration has created an environment that allows things like this to happen.
Mr. Trump is blaming the Biden administration's open border policies.
We've been saying for over a year now that there's likely to be a terrorist attack on our home soil with an open southern border.
No time for thoughts and prayers. Deploy the Continental 48 cloche. That's called a cloche. It's, you know, in the diner, and you're like, I'll have that pie, and they act like someone's going to steal the pie, and they put it under that thing. That's called a cloche, and that's the basis of the joke. Of course, no. You know, what I love most about this job is the ability to educate on the various paraphernalia found in diners. Of course, the judgment that the networks came to was, of course, rushed to.
Now we're hearing from multiple reports that he was an American citizen, he was in the Army Reserves, that he wasn't some illegal immigrant that came across the border.
Lift the cloche! No, the cloche has been deployed. You must lift the cloche. Or the thing in the All right. So, it didn't turn out to be the ironclad argument for sealed borders that the right was hoping for, but fear not. More chaos to come.
Breaking news out of Las Vegas, where a Tesla Cybertruck exploded outside the Trump Towers Hotel.
Cybertruck exploded outside a Trump hotel. So even terrorists are political cartoonists now? A little on the nose, don't you think? I mean, come on. I think it's pretty clear what's going on here. Have at it, boys.
John, I'm going to point out the obvious. He goes to the Trump resort in Las Vegas. Donald Trump, he's in a Tesla Cybertruck. Elon Musk.
This was a statement. They was making a statement about Trump, about Elon.
Should the FBI be treating this as another attempt on Trump's life, even though he wasn't at the hotel at the time?
Why the I saw a car accident outside his hotel in New York. Let's make that number 4 or 5. Who cares what's really happening? But unfortunately, even for that narrative, the statement by the bomber was actually, I think Trump is awesome.
Officials say the man who blew up a Tesla Cybertruck outside a Vegas Trump hotel will express support for President-elect Donald Trump and Elon Musk.
Saying Americans need to, quote, rally behind President-elect Donald Trump and Elon Musk.
Far be it from me to tell someone how they should express their affection. I've worked for years to become more open. But even I know that blowing up someone's shit in front of more of their shit, it's what we in the therapy business call a mixed message. So neither end of the illegal immigrant anti-American parlay has hit. But don't let reality ruin a good narrative.
The person who committed the attack was indeed an American citizen. But let's not take our eyes off the bigger picture here, which is that over the past 4 years, millions of people have come into the country.
My goodness, what else don't we know? If these are a couple of people who are homegrown, what don't we know of all of these people who've come across the border?
Yes, yes. Clearly we have a problem over here. So what about over there? It turns out that American-born extremists not only show we have to close the border, they also take the wind out of the left's other favorite policy prescriptions.
This also should lay bare the idea that gun control is going to make us safer. You know, we're using, what are we going to do? Start registering people for or giving background checks for people to get cars?
I saw it. You got halfway through that point, and you're like, no. I don't. I could almost see it when your brain was, I don't want to go down that road. No, what are we going to have to do now? Register our, abort. No, don't say abort. I don't know what's happening. Putting on a one-man show over there. Well, what are we going to make people get licenses for their... What it seems to show is that people have a tremendous ability to fit whatever happens into their predetermined dogmatic worldview. It's not a rush to judgment as much as like a gag reflex, which is why in the immediate aftermath of these terrible events, we all wait to see whose worldview will be validated. And it makes it doubly frustrating that the FBI feels the need to play into the demand for immediate answers when they couldn't possibly know them yet. I give you the FBI 4 hours after the attack.
This is not a terrorist event.
Just say you don't know yet. Because a couple of hours later, when you find out what's really going on, you're just going to look dumb.
The FBI, we are working with our partners to investigate this as an act of terrorism.
Okay. No harm, no foul. It's not like you played into the fears of co-conspirators out there lining the streets with explosives.
We do not believe that Jabbar was solely responsible.
The FBI has recovered video, surveillance video, that appears to show three men and one woman appearing to help put IEDs, what are believed to be IEDs, at locations in the French Quarter.
Holy shit, IEDs in the French Quarter. I guess I have no option but to violently confront anyone in the vicinity that I believe is operating a sleeper cell.
Police interviewed those 4 individuals and now believe that they just were bystanders who happened to look suspicious.
But I already killed them. They happen to look suspicious in New Orleans? Oh, what were they wearing, beads in the winter? Little sparkle and glitter? What were they carrying around, musical instruments and seemingly too upbeat for a funeral?
It turns out those were just patrons on the street that were looking inside the coolers.
Yes, nothing more suspicious than people on Bourbon Street at 3 in the morning looking inside coolers. I also arrested some ladies who were lifting up their shirts, clearly signaling to the other jihadists. These attacks are really frightening and add to this feeling of societal tenuousness that we've all been ingesting since, I'm going to go with the creation of Facebook. Almost more frightening is that we can't place these attackers into the normal, neat boxes of disturbed, bullied loners. Not only do they not fit into neat ideological packages, they almost seem uncomfortably normal. The ISIS supporting Jabbar, this is him from a while back.
I'm Shamsuddin Jabbar, property manager with Blue Meadow Properties and team lead at the Midas Group at Core Realty. I just want to say hello and let you know a little bit about me. So I'm born and raised in Beaumont, Texas, and now live in Houston.
Here's the crazy thing. He's the terrorist. I'd have bought real estate from this guy. He seems totally run-of-the-mill, guy who's been life coached up. He's even got the, if you notice there in the background, the basic bitch motivational discipline posters. Go all in, take responsibility, be disciplined. Terrorists generally don't have those posters. I don't remember bin Laden having to remind himself to hang in there. By the way, this is true. Just as a side note, that is the original Hang In There Baby poster. I don't remember. I had one that was like a super cute orange kitty, but this one, it really seems more of a, like, demanding you hang in there. Like it's in black. Like it doesn't really look like a kitty trying to, like, give you more. It looks more like De Niro and Cape Fear doing, like, pull-ups in a cell and being like, I will you up. Like, that is not, that cat. That cat would, if you died, that cat would eat you and crawl inside and go to sleep. Although I guess most cats would. All right, look. I don't like these terrorists and killers having such vibrant digital trails. I don't want them to be relatable. The Cybertruck bomber guy.
You see some of the photos on Facebook. He did a lot of traveling. There's the one photo of him that was actually taken in Thailand.
I nap. And look at Luigi Mangione. This guy was a hooded professional assassin with a silencer, and now we got to watch him deliver the valedictory speech at his high school?
As I conclude my speech, I have to remember that a valedictory, by definition, is a farewell.
By the way, where did that kid go to high school? They all look like extras in a consent video. I'm not trying to be a dick, but it looks like everybody in the background looks like they're about to go like, all right, girls, who wants some grain alcohol? And now we all got to wait around on pins and needles for their motive. Have to know why. What's the road from real estate wannabe to the West is decadent? And they have left manifestos, but their manifestos suck. Luigi Mangione, who was allegedly so obsessed with healthcare costs that it drove him to murder, here's what he wrote in his manifesto.
Frankly, I do not pretend to be the most qualified person to lay out the full argument.
I'm just the muscle. I'm not the idea. I don't know anything about it. I just know, you know. Finally, someone willing to stand up for what he isn't really sure he believes in. To be quite honest, I urge the news media, don't even call these manifestos. These are an insult to manifestos. Throwing something down on your notes app is not a manifesto. You know what? Say what you want about Ted Kaczynski. The man put in the work. Cabin with no plumbing, 35,000 words, old school typewriter, double-spaced, bibliography, table of contents. I think it had been blurbed by other crazy people. If you have to read one manifesto this year, Charles Manson. These other guys are out there, hey, ChatGPT, write me a concise screed against the healthcare industry as though it were a Drake rap. Like, this is... The point is, I don't know what's going on here. Where normal-seeming people have a setback in their life, end up online, down some rabbit hole, the algorithm amplifies their anger and fears, and all of a sudden, you're releasing a half-assed manifesto and shooting the place up. It doesn't have to be this way. So a plea to all the would-be terrorists that are out there. Hey, girl. Down on your luck? Girlfriend left you, job's a dead end, spending a lot of time watching whatever YouTube autoplay is showing you, and now you've got some ideas. How about you don't kill everybody? Just do what everybody else does in that situation. Get a podcast. That way, nobody dies. You get a podcast, nobody dies, you can still terrorize people. And no, I do not want to be on it.